So my very first question for you is, what is the strategic plan?
Well, let's talk about first what any strategic plan is, and
Sure.
that is a document that most organizations develop to help guide their direction for a specified period of time. This provides us with some concrete things that an organization should be doing or wishes to accomplish within a specified period of time. And so this strategic plan at Westminster is going to be following up on several strategic plans that have existed for many years.
Okay. And so tell me a little bit about the process of writing this strategic plan. What exactly went into that?
Well, strategic plans can be created in many different ways. In many corporate settings, strategic plans are created by the senior executive, oftentimes involving individuals that are on the senior executive's management team. That is usually less so the case in higher education. Higher education has what's called a shared governance environment, which involves many different constituencies, which include not only the administration, but the Board of Trustees, the faculty, input from the alumni, input from the students. All of these voices need to be heard when doing strategic planning. So the process that we did here at Westminster took approximately 1 year, and it involved a fairly subscribed process involving all the constituencies that I just described over a period of 1 year, and had really 80 people involved in the process and the actual creation of the strategic plan. So the final document represents for us a compilation of many different viewpoints, many different ideas which are synthesized into a singular direction for the institution. So in this way it's very comprehensive, and though the plan isn't and cannot be all things to all people, the plan, I think, is a good reflection on what the campus community as a whole wants to accomplish in the next 10 years.
That all sounds wonderful. Now, the plan is titled Westminster's Advantage?
Advantage Westminster.
Advantage Westminster. And can you just tell me a little bit about how, that was brought about and why it is called that?
Sure. Advantage Westminster was the theme of my inaugural address, if you recall, from about 14 months ago. All right. The key issue in Advantage Westminster is to look at those things that we could or should be doing that provide a true advantage to our students in coming here versus going to another institution. And the strategic plan is attempting to focus on those key things, I think, that will make our education unique to many of our competitors.
Okay, and what are a few of those things?
Well, one of the key areas that I have always had a strong interest in is experiential education. I think it's very, very important that, as I like to say, that we not only help our students develop a transcript, but help them develop a resume as well. It's very important for students to have the experience of taking what they learn in the classroom and applying them in very meaningful ways so that they can actually graduate with some employable skills in addition to their knowledge base that will help them in their profession. We do some of that right now. In the field of education, we have student teaching. That's an excellent example of experiential education, and we're very, very good. We're regionally well known in that particular area. In the sciences, we have student research, where students will work specifically with faculty members on research, where they're actually doing the research and then presenting their studies at national conferences. The best way to learn science is to do science, so experiential education has you do that. We're also looking to expand our internship opportunities for students. We think this is very, very important going forward, and so the strategic plan will be focusing on that as well.
Okay, great. So can you tell me how this strategic plan for Westminster will impact the students other than with that experiential learning aspect?
Sure. There are 4 aspects to the strategic plan. Okay. The first is our people. The second is our reputation. The third is cost. And the fourth is campus. And so let me just kind of break those down to answer your question.
Sure.
Okay. First, on our people. It is very important for any organization to invest in its people and making sure that we are providing the very best talent so that we can work with students and that students are enjoying, I think, the many talents that we have. So we need to develop that talent even more and provide great development opportunities for our faculty and our staff to really respond to the needs of the student today. So first is there'll be strategies that deal with our people. Second is our reputation. We want to continue to increase our academic reputation. You know, right now we're one of the top liberal arts colleges in the nation. We have many points of pride on our academic reputation, and that is continuing to grow, but we still have a long way to go. And so we want to be able to do that. So we're going to be developing programs and policies that are going to continue to develop our academic reputation over time. What we're trying to get away from at this institution is what's happening at a lot of other schools across the nation, and that is that trying to offer quick and cheap degrees, trying to get people in and out as quickly as possible without a depth of an educational experience that we think truly defines what an educated person is. We want to ensure that our students graduate as educated individuals. And so we're going to be working very hard on our academic reputation to do that. Next is a major problem of higher education in general, and that is cost. Private schools like Westminster are more expensive than public institutions because you are getting a much more concentrated, much more focused education by virtue of the student-faculty ratio. That costs more. But the research has continually showed that that kind of education truly yields better outcomes than other institutional types. The problem is that those costs at most schools have gone through the roof over the years. What we are going to do is make a conscious decision to try to keep our costs as low as possible given the nature of the education that we provide. So that's going to be a huge issue, and it's going to be a big challenge for us going forward. And finally, campus. We're going to be seeing some changes in the campus, continuing many of the good things that were started with my predecessor, Tom Williamson, with regard to upgrading some of the academic buildings that we've got and the overall infrastructure of the institution. But we want to make sure that we're doing that in a way that is not going to financially and negatively impact our students' ability to afford a Westminster education. So there's a lot of changes I think the students are going to be seeing over the course of the next 10 years.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Now, as far as the implementation of the strategic plan, how will that happen and when will that happen?
Okay. The strategic plan can be accessed, first of all, for your viewers by going to www.westminster.edu/advantage. If they do that, they can get in and see the actual strategic plan. Okay. Now, this plan that they'll be reading is, I like to say, a compass, not a roadmap. We have the strategic plan, which talks about the policy direction of the institution, and we have a separate document that we are completing now called the operational plan. That actually gets down to specific strategies that we will be using to meet each of the 39 key goals within the plan itself. And those strategies will have metrics associated with them to assess how well we are doing in meeting each of those goals. That's an internal document for the institution, not available to the public, but those are the things that really will dictate the specific things that we are doing to meet each of the goals.
Great. It all sounds like